Why the hidden job market matters so much. I just want you to think of this as referral and relationship job market. That's what it is. It's all about who you know. That's what that means when I say hidden job market. It doesn't mean that the jobs are like actually hidden online. Matter of fact, they're not posted online. That's the point. There's a lot of companies that have needs. I'm one of them. I'm currently hiring, and you're not even going to see it online. It's not posted online. I'm going to probably hire this person through relationship, most likely. There are needs that I have. All right, let's rock, let's roll, let's go. All right, welcome to the Who You Know Show, where what you know is important, but who you know can make all the difference in your wealth, health, your business, career, relationships, and definitely in your life. And I'm super excited about today's episode because we're here to help you level up, get noticed, and connect to your next opportunity. So today's episode is for job seekers over 50. All right. If you're over 50 and you're tired of getting ghosted, look, if you're tired of getting ghosted by employers, right? You're applying online and it's not going anywhere. Look, this episode is definitely for you. We're going to be cracking the code of the hidden job market. All right. We're going to talk about why and where these jobs are, how to get noticed, how to stand out, and how to close the freaking deal. Okay. So, 70 to 80% of jobs right now are on the hidden job market. Okay. And that's how 70 to 80% of the landings are on the hidden job market. So we're going to be showing you how to build relationships and get hired faster. So let's rock, let's roll, let's go. Okay. So here's the deal. I said this earlier. Many jobs, they're not posted online. You don't even know that they're out there. Okay. They are unlocked through connection, through relationship, through conversations. And in this episode, we're going to learn a few things. I'm going to show you how to find and engage with decision makers effectively. So think about that. How many of you have reached out to a decision maker only to get ghosted? You're not getting any traction. You're not getting anywhere, right? If that's you, I want you to listen in. Tune in, okay? I'm also going to show you the art of hyper-personalized outreach, okay? Hyper-personalized, where it's going to be something that converts, and it's not going to feel pushy. It's not going to feel like pressure, okay? It's not going to feel salesy. It's going to actually make them say, wow. So if you want to wow the employer, I need you tuning in. And the last thing that we're going to cover here in this episode is some creative ways to turn conversations into content that positions you as a trusted voice. All right? So a trusted voice, the expert. All right? I don't want you to be a job seeker, okay? Because when you're seeking, you're chasing, you're looking, you're you know what I mean? Like you're I want you to be the trusted expert that people go to, right? The trusted expert is not chasing, is not seeking. People find the trusted expert, okay? They seek out the trusted expert, right? They're looking for them. So we're going to kind of flip this on its head a little bit in this episode because that's what we need to do. We need to reverse engineer the job search process, okay? Now, one of the things that I think is really interesting is that when I first got started helping job seekers years and years and years ago, I didn't really know what the heck I was doing. I'm going to be honest. I'll be super transparent with you. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I'd never helped a job seeker before. But I asked a lot of questions, and I started to find commonalities and common themes. It's actually one of the reasons why the name of this show is the Who You Know Show, is because I asked the questions, what's your challenges? And they said, well, I'm getting ghosted by employers. I'm Applying online and it's not going anywhere. I'm not hearing anything back. And then I started to ask the questions to the people who actually landed the job, right? And I said, hey, how did you get it? What happened? Tell me the story. And what was interesting is there was commonality there too. People would say, hey, I talked to this person that introduced me to that person that connected me to this dot, connected me to that dot, and now all of a sudden, bada bing, bada boom, it was who you know. And I said, wow, okay. So light bulbs started going off, right? And then you hear it, right? I want you to think about this. If you're tuning in right now, listen up. How many jobs have you landed in your lifetime through a relationship or connection? Right? How many of you landed through a relationship, through somebody you knew? Yeah, you had to apply still. Yeah, you had to go through some formalities and some interviews. But how did the opportunity become available? I want you to think about that for a moment. Because chances are it's who you know. Like, I think about my life, and there were some times where it's always been who you know. It's always been connection. It's always been relationship. So I remember when I tried to get into the auto industry when I was like 24, 23, 24 years old. I was getting into the auto industry. And I remember walking in, and there was this lady that I worked with at Sears when I was selling electronics. And she was the receptionist now at Hyundai. And I remember that very, very vividly because I had been going from dealership to dealership to dealership to dealership, applying in person. Back then, you could hand in your application. And I was going to dealership, and I was having interviews, and I was talking with people, but, you know, it wasn't going anywhere until I walked into that dealership, and there's this person that I worked with at Sears, and she remembered me, and she said, oh, Trevor, oh my gosh, oh, you're looking for a job? Oh my gosh, let me get the sales manager over here. Hey, Cal. And she literally called him over and said, hey, Cal, this is Trevor. You need to talk to him. He's looking for a job. Right? Bada bing, bada boom, right? They took me more seriously simply because I had a relationship already, right? So it's super important, and that's happened several times in my life, right? What got me into financial services was a relationship. What got me into Sears way back in the day when I was like 18 was a relationship, right? So I want you to think about the times in your life that you have leveraged relationships. And some of these relationships, you know, it's like they're not even that strong, okay? Like they don't have to be super powerful relationships. These don't have to be your mom and dad type of relationship for you to get a job. I want you to understand that. That story I just told you about the receptionist, we weren't like super close. We weren't like, you know, best friends and talk a whole bunch, but she remembered me, right? She remembered me. I made some form of an impact on her life. I don't know what it was, right? I really don't. But I can tell you it wasn't a super strong relationship. It doesn't have to be. They just need to know, like, and trust you, okay? Those three things: know, like, and trust. If you have that, which that's not hard. It's not hard to do that. And I'm going to show you that here in today's episode. But to know, like, and trust, and that's it. That's really all you need for someone to, like, vouch for you. To say, oh, hey, come talk to Trevor. Okay? Because they may know you, but maybe they don't like you. Well, if they don't like you, guess what? Well, that's not good. They're not going to vouch for you. Well, actually, I take that back. Let me tell you another quick story. I remember, actually, I tell you what. No, I'm going to scratch the word like out, and we're going to replace it with respect. Okay? Respect. So know, respect, and trust. I'm going to scratch the word like out. Like is good. Respect is better. You can respect someone and not like them. Okay? So I'm going to give you an example. This is another example of, this was where I actually helped someone get a job. And there was this guy I worked with when I was selling Harleys. I was selling Harley Davidsons. And I'm telling you, I was like early 20s. Okay? Like 20 years old. And I was kind of like, aggressive. And so was this guy. And anyway, we didn't get along. I didn't like his personality. He, for whatever reason, he was just one of those people you just didn't like. Okay? We're at Harley, and he was kind of a pest or what have you. And we just clashed. Our personalities, our vibe was not there. Okay? We would make fun of each other. We would pick on each other. We would, it just was. And actually, Harley Davidson was kind of a toxic environment too. Okay? So, me and this guy, I want you to picture this. We don't like each other. Anyways. But I saw his capabilities in sales. I saw what he was able to do. He beat me, right? He would beat me. And I learned from him. Even though I didn't like him, I was because he was good at sales, I was peeping the game, And I'm like, hey, how you doing this? How you doing that? I wouldn't ask him directly, but I was watching him, right? I had respect for him, even though I didn't like him, right? So I think that's important. You can respect someone and not like them. And that's kind of the relationship we had. Anyways, so fast forward. Now I am in financial services. This is 2 careers later. I'm in financial services. And I walk in to a Chase bank. And I see this guy. And he's a financial advisor at Chase Bank. And I looked at him and I saw him and I saw this essentially a caged lion. Okay? Meaning I knew what he was capable of. But he was in this cage. He was in this this bank and had to stay there all day every day, right? And here I am in my business. I own my business, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I get to roam as I please. I get to go out there and meet and shake hands and do business with the world, right? It's a different environment. It's outbound sales versus inbound sales. Okay, so he had inbound. He was in an environment and people walked in, right? So inbound, right? But I knew he was capable of so much more. I know outbound has a better return. If you can make it work, outbound, right, in this environment is so much more because you're creating all the opportunity, right? And so you get rewarded for that. So anyways, long story short, I see him as this caged lion. I knew what he was capable of, and I said, man, let's talk. You need to come over here. And so he ended up listening to me because I think he also had a mutual respect for me. We had a mutual respect. He ended up listening to me, ended up landing a job with my broker dealer, and fast forward a few years later, he was getting promotions and all kinds of stuff. Great things happened. But I helped him land a job, right? Even when I didn't like him because I respected him, right? So I am going to scratch out that word like, and I'm going to flip it with respect. They need to know you. They need to respect you, okay? And trust you, okay? Those are the 3 elements. So let's talk about this. Why the hidden job market matters so much. Why does this hidden job market? When I say hidden job market, I just want you to think of this as referral and relationship job market. That's what it is. It's all about who you know. That's what that means when I say hidden job market. It doesn't mean that the jobs are like actually hidden online, okay? Matter of fact, they're not posted online. That's the point, okay? There's a lot of companies that have needs, okay? I'm one of them. I'm currently hiring, and you're not even going to see it online. It's not posted online. I'm going to probably hire this person through relationship, most likely. There are needs that I have, okay? And a lot of companies will have that. And because a lot of times they don't want to advertise those jobs and they don't want to post them online. They don't want to pay different job boards, right? Like LinkedIn isn't free for a company, right? So they would much rather go through relationship hiring and be referred to somebody than to have to spend a ton of money, maybe even hire a recruiting agency to help them place certain people, all that kind of stuff, right? So a lot of companies even will have referral programs where they will say, if you refer someone into the company and we hire them and they stay for 90 days, we'll give you X amount of dollars, right? So listen, this is huge. This is literally where 70 to 80% of jobs are filled is by networking, not job boards, okay? So again, companies hire people they know, that they like or respect and trust long before posting a job, okay? So I want you to think of it this way. The best jobs aren't listed, they're whispered. They're not listed, they're whispered, okay? So think of it that way. Now let's talk about some different ways that we can tap in to this hidden job market. How do you tap into it? How do you get word of different opportunities that are out there, right? Well, let's talk about one of the best ways to just start having conversations. It's all about conversations. The more conversations that you can have frequently with decision makers of the companies that you want to work for, right? Think about it this way. If you had 10 conversations a day, every single day, with decision makers at the companies that you wanted to work for, would the job search be hard for you? How would you feel about it? Right? Really think about that for a second. How would you feel about it? If you had 10 conversations a day, every single day, that's a pipeline, right? You'd have a pipeline. And with a pipeline, there's a security in that. Imagine this. Imagine you had 2 interviews a day, every single day, right? On your calendar, 2 interviews with different companies every day with different companies. How would you feel? You'd probably feel a little bit confident, right? You'd be like, man, I got this. I'm going to land any minute now, right? That's actually the goal. Guys, the average amount of jobs, interviews that people get per month, the average amount of interviews that people get per month is about 1 interview per month, right? That's scary. And when you think about that, if you only get 1 shot, right? It reminds me of that Eminem, right? Lose yourself. You only get 1 shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime, right? You get 1 shot a month? Come on, man. If that's what you're working with, of course you're scared. Of course you're not confident. Of course you're in a scarcity mindset. Of course you're freaking out, holding on to your last dollar because you have no idea what's coming next, right? There's no security in that. It's scary. Think about that. That's scary. So we want to flip that on its head, right? And it is possible, guys. You may be thinking online right now, you're listening into this, you're tuning in, and you may be in those shoes where you're getting 1 per month. And if that's you, I want you to know that I'm here for you. I want to help you with that. I want to transform that for you. Okay? God, I know how that feels. It's scary, right? Watching your bank account go backwards, you know, your wife's probably yelling at you to get out of the house, right? Oh, the stress. Because look, life doesn't stop just because you don't have a job. So your life's still moving, the world's still turning, the life's still going, the light bill is still coming, mortgage, everything else. And you got one interview. Yeah, of course you're scared. Of course you're not confident. Of course you've got imposter syndrome. So guys, this is the problem that we have to solve, right? We've got to solve that. So let's dive into some ways we can do that, okay? If you're ready to solve that problem, let's rock, let's roll, let's freaking go, because I'm tired of it. I hope you're tired of it. Enough is enough. Sometimes enough is enough, okay? And you got to draw that line and make a decision. I'm going to change, because nothing changes until you do, all right? Nothing changes until you change. The reason why you're getting one interview per month is you. It is what you're doing, right? It is. It's what you're doing. So we got to change some things, okay? We got to change some things. So if you're ready for that change, let's rock, let's roll, let's go. All right, let's talk about it. Number one thing that we want to do here is, look, we're going to create some hyper-personalized outreach, okay? Hyper-targeted, hyper-focused, personalized. It's going to convert, okay? It's going to convert into conversations. Again, the game here is conversations. You're one conversation away, okay? Literally one conversation away from everything you want in life. And I want to help you to have those conversations more often. So, hyper-personalized, hyper-targeted outreach that converts. So what the heck does that mean? All right? So this is how you're going to make the first move without it feeling spammy, okay? So step one is we want to look on LinkedIn. And you need to have a list of target companies, okay? This is something that always kind of has bothered me a little bit, is when job seekers don't know where they want to go. If you don't know where you want to go, I can't help you, right? I can't help you. You're lost, right? If you're lost, you're lost. Now, how do you find that, right? A lot of people ask me this. Well, that takes reflection, deep reflection about what you want. If you're all over the map and you don't know what you want, you got to get clarity, okay? You need clarity. So spend some time reflecting to gain some clarity around the types of roles that you want. Where does your skill set align with your passion? What are you good at, right? And what do you like to do, all right? And really take some time looking at the things that you love and that drive you, and the things that you hate. What did you hate about your last job? Because you get an opportunity right now to recreate the next chapter, okay? That's the beautiful thing about a career transition, is you're in control of that, okay? So I want you to really take some time and do some reflection on that and gain some clarity. Use tools like ChatGPT to help you with that. Like, literally talk with ChatGPT. If you're lost, say, hey, ChatGPT, I'd like you to act as a career coach, the best career coach in the world, and help me. I'm lost. All right? This is what I've done in the past. This is what I like. This is what I didn't like. And I'm not really sure what types of roles fit that. What things should I be looking into? What things should I be considering? And where do you think my skill set and my passions align on the job market today? Right? But get some clarity. We got to get some clarity first. If we don't have clarity, then you're just lost, okay? And I'm sorry. I'd love to help you, but I can't, right? Until you get some clarity on that. Once we have clarity, right, it's like having a target, right? Without clarity, you've got a blindfold on, and you're trying to hit a target with a blindfold. You're not going to hit it. And that's when people do the spray and pray, and they're applying online, and they're just applying for everything and anything and everything, and they're going in circles. You're like a on a hamster wheel. Every day is Groundhog's Day, and you're going insane. So we want to stop that. Let's get some clarity. All right. So that's first step. Get some clarity. Second step is once we have some clarity and we know the types of roles, we know the types of companies that align with those types of roles, and we know what companies we want. We need a list of target companies, man. And if you don't have that, also use ChatGPT. Once we know the type of role we want, use ChatGPT and ask it to do deep research, okay, in your area, types of salary expectations, all these things. I want you to get super clear on that and use ChatGPT to do deep research for companies that align with that. Okay? Now, we got a list of target companies. Now we have a target. Now we have something to shoot for. Now we have something to go, really send some personalized, hyper-focused, hyper-targeted, personalized outreach. Okay? So this is multiple steps. Remember, step 1, clarity. We got to get clarity. Step 2, right, is to find roles that align with that and find companies that align with that. Now we got target companies. Step 3, I'm going to go on LinkedIn and I'm going to follow that company page. Okay, I'm going to go look up that company page and I'm going to follow that company page. And once you hit the follow button, you'll notice this little bell pulls up in the right-hand corner of LinkedIn of that company page. You'll see it. It won't even be there until you hit follow. You have to hit follow first, and then bing, you'll see a little bell pops up. Well, go ahead and click that bell, right? That's the notification bell, and it'll ask you how do you want to receive notifications? I would go ahead and hit all notifications. You want to know every time they're doing something over there, right? If that's where I want to work, right? I want to know every time they post. I want all the notifications. And what you're doing here is you're really tailoring your own news feed with alerts, with job alerts, with company updates, with things that you are trying to get closer to. It's like, I want to see the target now, right? I have a target, but now I want to see it. Okay? I'm taking the blindfold off. So I'm going to tailor my newsfeed. I'm going to hit that notification bell, and every time they do anything on LinkedIn, I'm going to see it. Now, the next step is on that company page, there's actually a search bar you can type in and search people that work at that company. Oh, my goodness. We're one conversation away, right? We need to have human conversation with people that work at that company. All right? Now, who are we wanting to talk to at that company? Who do I want to talk to at the company? Well, I want you to think of kind of like 3 different levels. Okay? 3 levels of type of person. The first person is the person who does what you want to do. Okay? Or does what you do. Let's say you're in HR, you're an HR manager. Cool. I'm going to search for HR managers that work at that company. And I want to talk to them. I want to have a conversation with those people. How did they get there? What's their experience like? Do they enjoy their job? Right? We want insight. This is not about being desperate to get a job. This is about trying to figure out if this company aligns. Hyper-targeted, hyper-focused. And I want you to go into this with a what I call $10 million mindset. Okay? If you had $10 million and you didn't need to work, but you wanted to work, and you wanted to do HR management, like, wouldn't you be very selective? What kind of questions would you be asking? And you would interview other HR managers, wouldn't you, to try to get an understanding of their experience at that company, how you're going to be treated? Because again, you don't need to work. You got $10 million in the bank, right? That's $10 million mindset. So that's what I want you to go into this with. And I know that's hard because, look, the job search is a financial transition. We get it. But maybe even type that into ChatGPT and ask it for questions. Say, hey, if I had $10 million in the bank and I was working because I wanted to, not because I had to, what type of questions would you ask in an informational interview to another HR manager? How would you approach them? What type of very selective questions would you ask? Boom, hit enter. Right? Think about that. So we're going to look for people who do what you do, okay, at the same level. We're going to look for people that are the next level up, okay? So whatever that is. So 5 years from now, that next level up, what is that level? I want to interview that person. Why? Well, maybe it took them 20 years to get to that next level, and you're trying to get there in 5. That might be a red flag. What if there is an upward mobility opportunity and that's what you want, right? I want you to think about those things. This is super important that you aren't just, getting anything and everything. You're hyper-focused because this is your life. Guys, this is your life. And you can let life happen or you can take control, right, and go after life. You're going to let life happen to you and just roll over you. It will if you let it. So I want to interview who does what I do. I want to interview the person that's at the next level up and ask them questions. Okay? And then I also want to interview decision makers at that company. Recruiters and hiring managers and anybody that would be involved in that hiring process. Okay? I want you to interview those people as well. Okay? So that's the next step is really on that LinkedIn profile. We're going to do research here. Take some time, right? Get an Excel spreadsheet and start taking these people's LinkedIn URLs over there so that you have a hit list, okay, of people that you want to talk to. Now, have I talked about applying online yet? No. Has any of this had to do with applying online? No. Applying online, guys, is a formality. It is part of the process. It is not the process. Matter of fact, we've had several people that we've taught this strategy to who don't ever apply until they're asked to apply. Right? How much more powerful is that? If they ask you to apply, right? The application is just simply a formality, especially in the hidden job market, right? This opportunity that you're looking for might not even be posted. So apply for what? Right? Like what if you're trying to be an HR manager and you don't see HR manager on the company website? They don't have that job available. Does that mean that they don't need another one? Not necessarily. Right? Just because you don't see it online. Right? So I have not mentioned applying online because that's not really part of this process. It may become part at some point, but we have to have human connection, human conversation, and relationship first. Human first. Okay? Because humans hire humans. Until the AI starts hiring, which, hey, we may get there. I don't know. I don't have that crystal ball. God help us if that happens. But let me just tell you, right now, the AI is they don't hire humans. If they did, right, you would apply online, the AI would scan it, and you'd get a job offer. But it doesn't work that way, does it? No. They bring you in for interviews. Why? because they want to see the human behind the paper. Okay? There's still a human interest in this. Okay? They got to know, like, and trust you. So, researching the decision makers online, finding them, finding those people, and looking at their profiles. Okay? And I want to know now, is this person active on LinkedIn? Okay? I want to know if they use the platform, if they're active, if they're engaging. Because some people, guys, let's just put it this way. Some people have profiles and, they don't use them. Okay? They have inactive profiles. There's a lot of inactive profiles on LinkedIn. A lot. Okay? Why? Why are there so many inactive profiles on LinkedIn? Well, because people use it for a job and then they disappear. Like, they use it when they need it and they disappear, which is the wrong approach, by the way. I don't encourage that, right? This is your career. This is your entire life. Don't just use it when you need it, okay? If you do that, you don't have any job security. Use it all the time. But my point here is we want to now go to that person's profile and look and see if they're active. Because if I'm going to reach out to that person, right, don't I want to know if they're home? It's kind of like if I'm going to go knock on doors, pop, 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 right? If I'm going to go knock on some doors, wouldn't it be helpful to know if the person is even home? That would save me a lot of time. I wouldn't even go knock on the door if they're not home. Or maybe if they're not home, I'll leave them a note on the door, right? But I'm not going to knock on the door. I'm going to leave a note on the door, right? Different strategy if they're not home. Okay, I want you to think about that. Same thing. LinkedIn is like that. And I want you to know by their all activity section on their profile, this is where you get to see when they were most recently active. Okay? It'll tell you anything they like or comment on. So let's say they liked a post a week ago. Well, that means they were on the platform a week ago. Let's say they posted a piece of content 2 weeks ago. Okay. Look, they're sharing their insights. That's valuable information. Okay? Super valuable information. So I want you to look for that. Now, this is where we're going to take it to the next level. We are going to look for content, whether they've shared content, whether they've created original content. We just want to look for content on their profile, right? And now we want to comment on that content. Instead of just going at the connect button and trying to connect with them right off the bat, which is a huge mistake I see job seekers make. They connect. And that can actually get your account blocked, by the way. LinkedIn, if they see that, they will flag it as spammy, and they can shut your account down for that if you're not careful. So it's a big mistake I see job seekers make is they're just trying to connect right off the bat, and they haven't shown any value or really done anything above and beyond, okay? Don't be like everyone else. We want to stand out, right? The definition of a standout is to do what other people won't do or to go above and beyond, right? To do what other people won't do, okay? So instead of just sending a connection request, which is so easy, right? And a lot of people say, oh, we'll send a personal note with the connection request. Always send a personal note with your connection request. I actually disagree with that. I'll tell you why. If you're going to send a connection request, like if you have something personal to say to them that isn't just about you, like maybe you met them at an event, or maybe you like you have some form of commonality there, then go ahead. Sure, maybe you could do that. No problem. But it's not a requirement. Always send a personal note. No, I don't subscribe to that. Matter of fact, they have done studies because of automation tools that came out, and automation tools went out there and just blindly sent out connection requests with no personalized note versus ones with personalized notes, and actually the ones that didn't have a personalized note had a higher acceptance rate, right? Because you have to think about it. You put yourself in the shoes of whoever's on the other end. They don't know you, so they're going to do what? They're going to go look at your profile. If that's the goal, you want them to look at your profile, right? So before they make a decision, a yes or no, I don't have anything to go off of. I see John Smith, and I don't have anything to go off of. I'm then going to go to your profile, look at your profile, and make a decision based off of what I see there, okay? So I have a lot more intel to go off of than just a personalized note. Anyways, I don't want you to even do the connection request until a little bit later, though, all right? I just thought I would share that because I hear that advice all the time. I hear people say, don't send a connection request without a personalized note. That's old advice, and I don't subscribe to it. Okay, I'm just gonna let you know that right now. But for now, we're not even gonna talk about the connection button. Okay, we're gonna talk about the comment button. I want you to leave a comment on their content, okay? And we're going to take this to a whole nother level, okay? Not just a black and white text comment. Anybody can do that, right? Again, we want to stand out, right? And if you want to stand out, we got to do something different. So what are we going to do? We're actually going to send a super personalized video message. Okay, a video message, and we're going to use, there's several tools out there to do this, guys. The one I really enjoy is BombBomb. That's the one that has all the features that are capable to do what I'm sharing with you right now. So BOMB, BombBomb. But there's Loom, Vineyard, there's lots of different tools, so do your own research. But my point here is, use a tool like that, a video communications tool. And a lot of people ask me, well, can I use YouTube? And can I do it this way or that way? No. There are platforms that are specifically designed for this, okay, to deliver your video in the most effective way. They are video communications tools, okay? YouTube is just a platform. It's a video platform, but it's not a video communication tool. So look for video communication tools. If you're going to do research on those, just ChatGPT that. Say, hey, what are the number one rated video communication tools? Okay? You'll see BombBomb is in there. So we're going to send this video as a comment on their post. Okay? And we're actually going to flash a little handheld whiteboard. I have this little handheld whiteboard, and imagine this is it right here, and I have the person's name written on it. Okay, so I would have the person's name written on it, and what I do is I'll flash that at the screen and get real close to the camera so they see their name and then my face. Their name, my face. Of course, smile, right? Smile real bright. Their name, my face. Okay, that's what they see. As a matter of fact, the tool will do this animated GIF. Okay, it's an animated GIF that has motion. Okay, they do that for a reason. Why do they do that? Because it's engaging. Okay, that motion prompts them, and if you do something like that, like flashing a little whiteboard with their name on it, their name is the most recognizable word to them. And it'll grab their attention. Curiosity killed the cat. You will press play if your name is written on a little whiteboard like that and you get that message. Okay? So they're going to press play. Just about guaranteed they're going to press play. Like 98%. Okay, they're going to press play. When they see that, they'll press play. Trust me. Now, here's what we're going to say in our video. People are always like, well, what do I say? What do I say? All right, we're going to add the 3 C's. Okay, 3 C's. Compliment, commonality, call to action. Compliment, commonality, call to action. So, hey, I saw your recent post about X, Y, and Z. I freaking loved your insight. Oh my goodness. Well, what is that? It's a compliment. I love this post. It's that simple, guys. Very, very easy. Oh my gosh, I just saw your post. It's so awesome. I loved what you were sharing about X, Y, and Z. Love that. So cool. Oh, I love it. Just compliment them, right? Guys, we're dying for compliments out there, especially if you're posting stuff, man. We want to know that people like it, right? They're looking for that validation. Give it to them. Love that post. Oh my gosh, so good. Now we want to interject some commonality. Do you have something in common with this person? And you're going to get that information based off their profile. Look for things in common that you have with them. Maybe you're part of the same alumni group. Maybe you went to the same schools. Maybe they're a Cowboys fan and you're a Cowboys fan, or maybe they hate the Cowboys and you know, whatever. All I'm saying is look for clues to build a common bond. Okay? So you can say, oh, I'm super passionate about X, Y, and Z too. Oh my gosh. And even better if it's included in their post. If you can find a common theme, a commonality in that post that you're talking about, that's even better. And then the last step is what I say is call to action. That's the last C, call to action. Say, oh my gosh, I'd love to chat with you sometime. I know you're probably super busy like everyone else, so I'm just including a link to my calendar up here. Just go ahead and click the link, and it'll take you right there, and pick the time that works best for you. But anyways, I hope you have an amazing, blessed day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Okay? All this happens within about 30 to 45 seconds. Okay? 30 to 45 seconds. This is simple. This is like leaving them a voicemail. You're leaving them... Instead of leaving them a voice message, you're leaving them a video message, okay? Taking it to that next level. So again, compliment, commonality, call to action. A real-world example, there was this lady I was trying to get a hold of at LinkedIn. She's super busy, decision maker at LinkedIn, and I needed her for some reason. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I really needed her at the time. I think that's what it was. It was back when LinkedIn was coming out with audio rooms, and it was beta, and I wanted to get on the beta. I was on the beta for LinkedIn Live and on the beta for some other things. Anyway, I wanted to get on the beta, and so when those things happen, you got to act quick, right? You got to get on it. So anyways, I was trying to get her attention, right? I knew she was one of the decision makers involved in that process, so I wanted to get her attention. So what did I do? I did exactly what I'm sharing with you right now. She had a post, and the post was about this concert in California. Okay, some fancy, concert. I don't know. I don't even remember what. Like, it looked like a Coachella type of a thing. Anyway, it was some fancy concert in California. So I saw that, and I'm thinking, okay, what do I have in common? What do I have in common? What do I have in common? Well, the only thing I really got in common with this was my grandparents live in California, and I haven't seen them in a while. My grandma's turning 92. So here's how I said it. I said, oh my gosh, Susan, I absolutely love this post. Oh my gosh, it got me thinking of my grandparents who live in California. I need to go see my grandma. So thanks so much for that. You actually got me over here California dreaming. But anyways, where are you from, by the way? And hey, you know what? I'd love to chat with you sometime. I know you're probably super busy over there at LinkedIn, but hey, let's have a quick chat sometime. Link to my calendar's over here. Just pick the time that works best for you. But anyways, thanks again. You got me over here California dreaming. Hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye. All right? So that was the outreach. Hyper-focused, hyper-targeted. Now, did I tell her why I want to talk to her? Did I tell her anything above and beyond that? Did I say, hey, I want to talk to you about LinkedIn audio rooms and this? No. Just use the formula, guys. Compliment them. Commonality. Call to action in a video comment on their content. This will blow them away. It will wow them. It will get them like, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that. Wow. And they're almost going to feel guilty if they do not schedule with you, right? They're going to feel guilty. So that's what we want to do. And now we're going to have a 15-minute conversation with that person. Okay? This is just a 15-minute phone call. I don't even need Zoom for this, just a phone call, because we want it to be a super low commitment, super low, like it's not a high commitment for them, right? Like 15-minute phone call, yeah, I can do that, no problem. 15-minute Zoom call, oh, well, now I got to get, dressed and ready and I put my face on and all this kind of stuff, right? Like, it requires a little bit more bandwidth. I got to be camera ready. You know what I'm saying? Phone calls are easier. So just make it easy for them. 15-minute phone call. Have them click. And the cool thing about BombBomb is in your video, you can add a call to action. So you can add any link that you want to. It'll pop up in there and they can click on it right then and there. Boom. Takes them right to your calendar. So now they're getting on your calendar, and now we're going to have a 15-minute conversation with them. Okay? So here's some best practices for that. Some best practices for your informational interview. Number 1, arrive early and respect their time. Okay? If it's a 15-minute phone call, stick to 15 minutes. Don't run over it if the conversation's running over. Like, if you start to get to the 15-minute mark, you need to stop the conversation and say, hey, I want to be super respectful of your time. I still had a few more questions, but, totally up to you. We can keep going. If you have the time, I've got a few more minutes. If not, we can always schedule another time. It's totally up to you. Put the ball in their court and allow them to choose whether or not to continue that conversation. I see a lot of job seekers make this mistake where they say, oh, yeah, it was a great conversation. I can't even believe it. We were scheduled for 30 minutes, and it went an hour and a half. I couldn't believe it. Just, that could also be a bad thing, guys. That could be a bad thing. If it went that long, if it went way over, that could be an awful thing. That may be your last conversation with that person. Because think about it. Some people are just non-confrontational and they'll let you take their time. And I just want to caution you against that. Give them the opportunity. Give them the extra, say-so, right? So arrive early, respect their time. Don't ramble. Okay, stay natural. Don't ramble. I don't want you to be you don't know what to say. Well, you don't know what to say because you're not prepared. So I want you to prepare with open-ended questions. Okay? Now, this isn't a script, but again, you're going to have open-ended questions because you want to know about this company. Again, $10 million mindset. If I had $10 million in the bank, what questions would I be asking? Okay? So, what do you love most about your work? What did they do during COVID? What's the growth look like? What's the upward mobility in the company? Like, just ask good questions. And if you have trouble with this, use ChatGPT to help you craft those questions and tell it, put on the $10 million mindset. I gave you that prompt earlier. Okay? Next thing is ask for the referral. Okay? Hey, is there anybody else that you think I should talk to about this opportunity? Right? Should I talk with anybody else? Right? I'm pretty excited about it, actually. Like, now that I've learned about it, I'm pretty, man, you got me kind of pumped over here. Anybody else I should talk to? Right? You're not going in it as I have already applied. No. We're just going in curious. And then after you've talked with them, we're going in with excitement. We're saying, oh my gosh, wow, sounds like a great opportunity. Sounds like a great company. Thank you so much for the insight. Anybody else I should talk to? Right? One dot connects you with another dot. So ask for the referral. And then what I want you to do is now we're going to follow up with a video email. Oh my gosh, this is powerful. So not just video comments. Now we're going to follow up with a video email. Why do I have email? Well, I got the email because they scheduled on my calendar, remember? They scheduled on my calendar. And when they go in and do that, they put in their phone number, they put in their email address. So you got their contact information. So now I can follow up with a video email. And this is what's called the Trojan horse strategy. Okay, because it literally is intentional about getting you forwarded to other decision makers. Okay, I want you to think about this. In a world of copy-paste outreach, right, this hyper-personalized outreach is your unfair advantage. It's literally unfair. It's that good. It really works. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to record a short video, again, under a minute long, with a recap. And you're just going to say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate that, taking the time out to chat with me. And you know, I was so inspired by your insights and what I learned about the company culture and the fit there that I actually went ahead and applied for this job rec right here, 45321. Okay? And I'm super excited about the opportunity. And hey, listen, I'm actually attaching my resume up above because, look, I know a lot of times these resumes, you know, when you apply online, they just kind of go in the black hole. Could you do me a huge favor and maybe get this in front of the right pair of eyes? I'd greatly appreciate it. It'd mean the world to me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time again. And if you think of anybody else I should talk to, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a blessed day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. And you're going to send that in a video, in an email, video email. And you're going to use the same strategy. We're going to flash our whiteboard at the camera. And this email, this is not an attachment. This is not a link. This is HTML code, which is built into the email. Okay, so they literally see the video in the email. They see the animated GIF. They see their name on it. They're like, oh my gosh. They're going to press play, and they're going to be like, oh my goodness, this guy is amazing. They're going to go, wow. Literally, you will see replies that say the word wow. You will see that all the time. I get them forwarded to me all the time. People go, wow. Okay, that's the reply you're going to get back. Wow. Can't believe you did that. Lots of exclamation marks are going to come back at you in a reply. Why are they doing that? It's because they're trying to share the same energy that you just shared with them. When you send a video in like that, you're sending a lot of energy. Okay? So you're going to do that. And then why they call it the Trojan horse strategy is because these videos, they're real sticky, y'all. They get forwarded to other decision makers in the company. Matter of fact, we see about 15 replays on the video. That's about the average, 15. Oh my goodness, can you believe that? 15 replays? That's huge. That tells you a lot. It tells you that you got a heartbeat, right? You're alive, and that your email's getting forwarded around and you're being looked at. You're going viral within the company. It's called the Trojan horse because you get in the company and then you infiltrate, right? If you remember that Trojan horse, they snuck it in. Right? You're sneaking that email in, and then it just infiltrates the company. Okay? So, it's not just a thank you. It's literally a bridge to future opportunities. And I would also use that throughout the entire process. Guys, follow up and everything. Even if you're rejected, I want you to send a thank you video email saying, hey, thank you so much for the time, and lead with gratitude, even if you're being rejected. Because you don't know how much they like you through this process. Even if they had to reject you, they still like you. They're like, oh my gosh, I wanted to hire him, but I couldn't. For whatever reason, I couldn't hire him. So they reject you. And you go in and you lead with gratitude anyways. And they're like, oh, gosh, we just love this guy. Just love this guy. Hey, you know what? Hey, Tom, look, I really want to hire this guy. What do we need to do? What kind of job? Like a lot of times they will put a job together just for you, right? Just for you. I've seen it a million times. Okay? So, use this throughout the entire process, even when being rejected. All right? Now, I have another strategy, and this one is above and beyond. We'll talk about it. Okay? This one is above and beyond. Before I get to that, I'm going to do a real quick recap of what I just covered with you, right? Because I know I covered a lot. So I just want to make it real simple, guys, so that you can take action on this. Again, the first step is we want to get hyper-focused and targeted. We want to know clarity on what roles we want. We want to know the companies that align with that. We want to follow those company pages, start looking for people that do what we do and decision makers and people in that company. We need to get human conversations inside the company. We're going to leave hyper-targeted video comments on their content with a call to action to schedule. So now we have them on our calendar for a short informational interview, and you're going to build a pipeline of those, right? So you have a pipeline of informational interviews on your calendar, and you're going to talk with those people, and you're going to follow up with video through that process after you apply, and you're going to say, thank you, please forward my information along, and get it in front of the right pair of eyes. Do you know anybody else I should talk to? Okay? That's that strategy, and it works. It's very, very effective. Those videos are going to start going viral within the company, okay? So we're going to try that process. This next process for informational interviews, because that's what this is all about. It's about getting more informational interviews. So here's another strategy that'll help you to do that. And this is, if you really want to build relationships faster, if you want to expedite relationships, you're going to launch a mock podcast, okay? Now, here's the deal. I don't care if you ever release this as an actual podcast or not. That's like bonus if you do. Cool. Okay? I just want you to think of this as a mock podcast, okay? You're in the beginning stages. You are recording season 1 of your new podcast, and you're super excited about it, okay? Think about it like that. And I want you to go invite those people. All those people we talked about earlier, the decision makers, the people that do what you do, the people that are at the next level up. I want you to think about reaching out to them and just saying, oh my gosh, hey, I'd love to interview you, and industry leaders, things like that. I would love to share your story, okay? And that is enticing, right? I remember the first time I got invited to be on a podcast, it was like, whoa, sweet. Like, it was super flattering to me, and it is to most people. So especially if they're busy, like, guys, you got to give some value. That is a huge value for them. They're like, wow, somebody wants to feature me? Oh my gosh, they want to talk to me? They want to share my story? They want to talk to me and share my story? Right? Most of these people that you're going to talk to, they've never been featured on a podcast. They've never been on one ever. Now, you may get some resistance where they may be hesitant because of fear. They may be afraid, or maybe they have some type of compliance where they can't come on or whatever. That's okay. Secondary to that would be just a phone call, phone call interview like we talked about before. But offer the podcast first, right? Because that's something that's like enticing to them, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to record that 15 to 20 minute conversation. But this time we're going to flip it. We're going to highlight them, not you, right? You're going to frame your questions in a way where you're still getting the insight that you need, but you're going to frame it around their journey, their story, highlight them, spotlight them, okay? Not you. And now we're going to take that and we're going to chop it up, okay? We're going to chop it up for LinkedIn. We're going to, make those little clips. We're going to make quotes. We're going to make reels. We're going to make carousel posts. We're going to do all of these different types of content that you can extract from that interview. Once you have that interview, you can actually create a content machine, but now you have a content machine that is promoting and highlighting and spotlighting that company and that person that works for that company. And I want you to tag them, okay? And post that. Tag the company. And post that. Like, oh my gosh, you are showing so much interest and value, that you're engaged, that you're connected, and you're invested in their world. Don't you think the company wants that? And then once you're done, again, you're going to share that content with that person. You're going to say, hey, thank you so much for the time, and I learned so much, and just, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. What a great interview. I'm posting this stuff. It's amazing. By the way, based off our conversation, I saw there was a job there. I'm actually super interested. Okay, I went ahead and applied, and I'm attaching my resume. Right? Same process. We're going to follow up with excitement, enthusiasm, and let them know that you just applied, and attach your resume. Don't you think they're going to take you seriously? You're being an advocate for them. You're being a champion for them. You are promoting and marketing them. You are talking about how amazing they are. I don't know. Just saying. Okay? Just saying. Right, guys? This is not just networking. This is the visibility engine that positions you as the thought leader and someone that they can know, like, and trust. Okay? So, guys, this episode right here, this really flips the job search from, spray and pray, where you're just applying, to connect and convert. All right? That's what this is all about. Forget the spray and pray. I want you to connect and convert. All right? You're not just a resume in the stack. All right? I want you to think about that. You're not just a resume in the stack. You're a relationship builder. You're a problem solver. You're a trusted partner. That's the viewpoint you need to go at with this thing. Okay? All right. So here are some outside the box moves. I want to just touch on a few things from what we've discussed, okay? So number one, let's create a dream list of 20 companies. Okay, this is your hit list, 20 dream companies. Follow those leaders at the companies and engage with their content daily. Right? Use video comments to stand out. Right? LinkedIn loves faces, not just text. All right. Now we're going to turn those coffee chat, those networking conversations into a content series. We'll use tools like Riverside. Actually, is a phenomenal tool. It's AI that helps you take that conversation and chop it into a million pieces. Heck, you can even turn yourself into a baby podcast or whatever. Those are funny and engaging, right? Like, it has all this AI built into it. So it has an AI engine built into to take your conversation that you have and chop it up into a million different pieces of content. That's amazing. So it makes it easy. Right? And I also want you to share your vulnerability in your post, right? What you're learning, what you're overcoming, the journey, the pain. Now, let's not just whine about stuff and make it a oh, woe is me session. We don't want that. If you're going to have pain, you need to have a lesson and a lesson learned, right? People don't want to just see the, oh, woe is me. No victim mentality stuff. Oh, the companies are just ghosting me. We don't want to hear that. That's whining, and no one cares. Honestly, no one cares. The rest of the world is thinking about themselves. Like, nobody, I hate to say this is going to sound cruel, but no one cares about you. Like, maybe your friends and your family, but the rest of the world, they got their own stuff going on. And so when you're like, oh, the company ghosted me, and they just did this, like, they don't, the rest of the world really doesn't care, and it's not going to help you, okay? Now, if you reframed that story and said something like, yeah, man, it's been challenging. I've been going through this job search, and look, I've been getting ghosted, and all this is happening, and that's happening, but you know what I did? I learned a different process, and I put this to action, and I started this outreach campaign, and now I have more conversations than I know what to do with. Like, what are the lessons learned? Don't just complain. Tell me what you learned from it, okay? So those are just a few outside the box moves. And now what I want you to do, guys, I always like to end these episodes with a call to action. This is my call to action for you, okay? I want you to write down 3 decision makers that you want to connect with, okay? And if you don't know who they are, go research them. But 3. And I'll keep this simple. We're not going to go overwhelm you with a whole bunch. We're just going to do 3. 3 is possible, right? You could do 3. 3 decision makers you want to connect with. Send one personalized video outreach today. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's not promised to you. Okay? You say tomorrow, it'll never happen. Don't do it tomorrow, do it today. You're listening right now. You're searching right now. Do it right now. Okay? One personalized video today. And then after you get that conversation going, I want you to record a video email thanking them for that conversation that you get from that personalized video. All right? So one last question I have for you. I want you to think about before we go. One last question. What if the best job you'll ever have in your life is hidden behind the next conversation that you start? Think about that. Guys, that's the show. It's all about who you know. Bye.